It has been close to 24 hours since the very public spat between US President Donald Trump and Tesla CEO and billionaire Elon Musk. But it has raised some very important questions on the ramifications of this rift. Two of the biggest issues that may witness an impact are, number one, very clearly, the big, beautiful bill proposed by Trump. The intense disagreement between Trump and Musk comes at a time when the bill is slated to be debated and voted at the US Senate. The budget bill passed by just one vote at the House of Representatives late last month. The stakes are now high in the Senate, where the administration can afford to lose only 3 Republican votes. In this scenario, that all Democrats vote against it and there is no abstention, with Elon Musk now escalating his attacks on the debt ceiling provision of the bill, there are chances that more rebel Republican lawmakers will feel emboldened to either vote against it at the Senate or push for greater changes once the bill comes into discussion. The bill contains a provision for $2.4 trillion in deficit spending over the next decade. According to the Congressional Budget Office, it also relies on $2.8 trillion in revenue from Trump's broad tariff plan. But the CBO warns the tariffs will raise inflation by 0.4 percentage points in both 2025 and 2026 and reduce annual GDP growth as well. This brings us to the second issue on hand, that's Trump's reciprocal tariffs and the global perception this spat will cause, particularly at a time when Washington has cornered several countries over tariffs. The tariff that Trump imposed on almost 90 countries is currently on hold. The US president announced a 90-day pause that expires on July 9th, just over a month from now. During this time, the White House has asked trading partners to submit their proposals for negotiating the tariff stalemate. But after this internal spat between Trump and Musk, doubts now arise on how the world will view the American administration. Also, so is the question here. Will countries use this opportunity of the internal rift between Musk and Trump to push back against Trump on reciprocal tariffs? And joining us live on the show right now is Raymond E. Vickery, former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Trade Development and Senior Associate at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Welcome to WION, Mr. Vickery. First up, with, of course, both Trump and Musk trading insults online on the social platform, what kind of consequences will this have on Trump's major tax cut bill, which is already teetering on the edge?
Well, thanks very much for having me. You know, I'm a strong supporter of the world is one approach, and I'm glad that this issue is being covered so thoroughly. I think in the first instance, of course, you look at this as a power struggle between two very powerful egos, some might even say egomaniacs, and it is interesting just as a matter of watching two people of power fight. But beyond that, there are very serious issues which are being raised by this. The Trump administration has shown that it does not adhere to a rule of law or constitutionality, that it believes in the strongman theory of government. And Elon Musk has subscribed to the same thing. Great democracies like India and the United States can't run on just personalities. There has to be an adherence to the rule of law, to constitutionality, to institutions which protect the average man and woman in building peace and prosperity throughout the world. I think a separate issue here shows the dangers of trying to conduct politics and government through cyberspace, through some sort of reality TV show. In a way, President Trump welcomes this approach. He had 14 years on television in reality TV, and this is a way to go forward. I think also there's a lesson here for other countries. We need the support of other democracies, but what we don't need is an approach which accelerates this movement toward individuals, the picking of particular politicians in other countries to support, as opposed to supporting values and institutions.
All right.
Domestically, we've got strong issues here in regard to tariffs, as we've pointed out, and in regard to the deficit. So this, if it weren't so funny as a soap opera, you would see that underneath it we have some very serious issues at stake here.
Right, Mr. Vikri, you do speak of how the spat has opened up various questions, and you did mention tariff, on which I want to follow up and ask you on Trump's economic policies, and perhaps the question being, will Trump's tariffs in the long run leave U.S. in recession?
Well, I think there's no question it's going to have these tariff across the board, the so-called reciprocal tariffs, trying to put 26% across the board on Indian imports, for example, even higher for some other countries, is harmful. In the United States, Trump got elected on his economic management, in part, economics of inflation, and this is going to only add to inflation. The tariffs haven't really kicked in yet, and already we're seeing an uptick in that regard. So it's very serious, and it doesn't make any sense at all. What President Trump views international trade is some sort of real estate transaction where I win. If I win, you lose. I make money, you don't. And he seized on these trade deficits as some sort of measure of the unfairness or illegality. There are a lot of reasons for deficits, including the United States having a reserve currency which enables consumers to spend beyond their means. So looking at it that way is completely wrong. And this was the original fallout between Musk and President Trump over tariffs. And then it's accelerated from there as these two, as I say, very strong egos have a power struggle as to who is the greatest. Musk says, I put in $288 million in a campaign. Trump says, oh, no, I would have won it regardless. So it's just like two teenagers.
Right, Mr. Vikri, we'll wait and have to see if there are any hopes of patch up at this point of time. But thank you so much for joining us. Race to Power with your insights.
Thank you.